as you can see, it's time for me to review Black Panther. Alright, so what I've got in the hat is a couple categories, and I'm going to be answering my thoughts on what's in the hat. So it's a random selection. Here we go. Was I ever bored is what I picked up first. Was I ever bored watching Black Panther? Do you know what? I felt like I was getting there. But not officially. I was not fully bored watching Black Panther. Next. Audio and editing. Now, what I'd like to talk about in this category is mainly the music, of course. Now, before watching Black Panther, I heard quite a bit about the soundtrack, that the soundtrack is gold, it's amazing, yeah. And you know what? I'm not going to say it's gold, but it was very interesting and intriguing. Marvel, they went all out. They tried to make this movie a homage to Africa in all ways, not just visually, but audio as well. Now, I heard a lot of talking drums in the soundtrack, and the talking drum is like one of the most African instruments ever. It's a very fun instrument to play, and yeah, talking drum. You will know what I'm talking about when you hear it. That's all I gotta say. As for what else do I want to talk about regarding the soundtrack? Yeah, it's just, you know, quite diverse, ethnic, urban. I liked it. Right, what we got next? Next we have the action and pacing. Now, do you know what I'm gonna say here? The action and pacing is where I felt like, you know, the pacing, even though I said I was getting bored, the pacing was overall fine. It was good. As for the action, what I'd like to say here, because I know what's coming up next, is the action is where most of the movie was funny rather than the dialogue. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The action is where the movie, this Marvel movie, you know, made us, or the cinema that I was in, laugh. As for the action regarding choreography, you know, Black Panther, he's a martial artist. I was quite let down, to be honest. I will say that. I have not walked away with anything that I thought was epic or jaw-dropping regarding one of Black Panther's moves or the villains, or anyone's for that matter. Choreography, in terms of martial arts, I was let down. In Civil War, the scuffle between Winter Soldier and Black Panther on the rooftop, I wanted to see more of that, but turned up to the next level. It wasn't in Black Panther, his own movie. And come back and tell me if I'm wrong when you watch Black Panther. But for me, the choreography regarding martial arts, I was disappointed. Next up, what do we have? Yep, exactly. So story and dialogue. Story and dialogue. Now, do you know what? Let me tell you, I've said that quite a bit this review, haven't I? Story and dialogue. I know, well, before watching this, I didn't know much about Black Panther. I'll be honest with you, I didn't. But this was quite intriguing, fascinating, and I like the universe. What I want to say is, while I was watching this, I felt like, damn, I wish this wasn't a Marvel movie. And I'm also feeling like, this would be quite interesting if it was mature rated, if it was R rated. You could do a lot more. The writers could have done a lot more if it wasn't a Marvel movie and it was R rated. But on that same note, I'm also going to say that this is actually one of the darker Marvel movies. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch it. As for the dialogue was fine. There was also some funny quips in this regarding the dialogue, but I'd say for me, it was more funnier regarding the action. Yeah, that's right. So what have we got last? Is it last? Nope, we've got more to go actually. Cinematography and visual effects. Let me start off with the visual effects. The visual effects, now let me tell you something. I'm actually someone who I'm not too fussed about CGI looking spectacular or I can't tell if it's CGI. If CGI is bad or, you know, just not doing it, I'm not too bothered about it because I understand the story is more important. But I will tell you that in this, Some things were looking quite fake, man. Some things were just not looking superimposed properly. I don't know if that's maybe in terms of the special effects being rushed or just not enough budget. I don't know, but some scenes you will see that, hey, that looks a bit fake. As for the cinematography, there was a scene regarding the character Claw and Black Panther, and I couldn't help but I was getting these James Bond vibes because of the setting. Like it was yeah, like a casino setting. And if you watch Skyfall, you know what I'm talking about. It felt like a 007 setting. And then later on in that scene, regarding the cinematography, there was a scuffle as well. And the camera work reminded me of Kingsman, the church scene in Kingsman 1. And I was like, yeah, cool. I like that. But where I was disappointed regarding the cinematography in Black Panther is I was expecting a lot more establishing shots, wide angle shots of the landscape. Now, yes, of course, they did show some great scenery regarding Wakanda, Africa, whatever. But I wanted to see a lot more. And then towards the ending, they show one that's kind of important regarding the dialogue and the story, but they didn't show it for long enough. Hey, that's just me. And last but not least, well, actually, no, that is not last. Wow, there's actually a lot in this hat. Would I watch again? Would I watch again? Would I watch again? Yes, I am going to actually I'm going to watch it again more than once. So I'm probably going to watch it at least 2 more times in the cinema. Why am I thinking about it? Like I said, it just feels like I don't really feel like I've left with anything that was epic or jaw-dropping for me personally. I don't feel like I've left with a song that's stuck in my head, a fight scene that's stuck in my head, a character that I love and I've grown attached to. That's just me, and this is my review, so that's why I started on Would I Watch Again. Alright, so in here, lastly, casting and actors. This is where I really wanted to speak on, the topic I really wanted to speak on. Casting. Chadwick Boseman. Before Black Panther, I did not know about this actor. Honestly, I didn't. But I must say, this is his role. He smashed it as Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Now, as you can see, I'm in my African attire. One thing I wanted to see in this movie was, here, is how actors pull off their African accents. So we have Chadwick Boseman, we have Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o. There's one girl that looks so familiar. She's T'Challa's sister in this movie. I don't remember her name, but she's so familiar. And I'd say she's quite flipping nice, if you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Especially with the fact that her character is into technology, just like I am. Right, so, yes, the one last actor I was trying to remember was Forest Whitaker. And then, of course, we also have my man, Daniel Kaluuya. I'm going to leave Daniel Kaluuya to last. So, Chadwick Boseman, like I said, he smashed it. The accent, of course, is not that authentic of an African accent. And the reason is, some people are forgetting, the accents can't be too strong because we've got these white people and these people who aren't African who are going to watch Black Panther and they need to understand it as well. So to have these strong accents that you think you would understand, others may not. So that's why I feel like the way the accents are is perfect. After all, Wakanda is a fictional place. You can't say or decipher what an African accent, or sorry, a Wakandan accent should be. Right, so Michael B. Jordan as the villain, he was intimidating. His character, I fully felt and agreed with why he felt the way he did. I liked the story regarding Michael B. Jordan's character and his motivations. Forest Whitaker, the reason why I mentioned him is, out of all the actors, his accent was the most wishy-washy. It was the most wishy-washy. But, you know, it's acceptable, it's cool. And now, Daniel Kaluuya, yeah. And I'm not just saying this because I've met the guy. but Daniel Kaluuya smashed it as well. I congratulated him on landing his role as Wakabi, and here I am, blown away by his performance. And the reason why I'm blown away is, if you've watched Get Out, many of you did not realise at first that this guy's actually black British. He's not an American. And his accent, to me, was so authentic. It was like, wow, great job. So he can do a British accent, flawlessly of course, as he's from Britain. An American one, very convincing. And now an African one. Well, of course he's African as well, but what I'm trying to say is all his accents, all his performances I've seen him in, he just knocks it out of the park. And I can't wait to see more movies with Daniel Kaluuya, and I really hope he's going places. After all, he's landed a role in a Marvel movie, which is big. So that was the last category in the hat. This is my Black Panther review. Now I need to give it a rating, and I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. A 4 out of 5. I can't give it a 5 out of 5. Like I said, I haven't really walked away with anything that was so memorable to me or epic, and I really wanted that, as this is, you know, many people are calling it quite a big milestone in terms of having a black movie, or, you know, a movie with a majority black cast, and this was definitely a majority black cast. And on that note, I need to tell some of you viewers, some of you people, certain people, and what I'm trying to say is, if you are racist, stay away from this movie. I'm telling you, stay away from this movie if you are racist, because it does get quite political at times, and it does get quite racial at times, and if you're racist, your blood is gonna boil in your seat. You're probably gonna piss yourself, cry, bleed out your ass, and walk out the cinema because you can't take it. I'm telling you. That's what I've got to say. So that's my review for Black Panther, guys. Subscribe to my new channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.